Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. It is What I've Been Warming Wednesday, where I take you through what I've warmed in my house over the last week or so, in this case about 10 days, and let you know how things did, where I warmed them, and how they did when they were warmed in my house. Because as we know, things when you smell them cold often change when you warm them up. So I hope this helps you get a sense of what you might want to try in your home, or where you might want to warm the things that you do have. So as for warming conditions in our house this last week or so, we got hit with like a really bad case of just straight up flu. It was rough. We're on the mend now, feeling a lot better. And I really hope, knock on wood, that we are done being sick for a little while, because I need a break. So the reason I'm saying this is because we didn't do a lot of like warmer changes. That was not front of mind during most of this period of time. And a lot of times for like bedrooms especially, it had to be either really weak wax, specifically on purpose, or like minty preferably. It was a different kind of melting than I would do if we're just like in full Christmas mode like now. So yeah, just different kinds of scents that I might have chosen and all of that good stuff. So in bathrooms, in the guest bath, I didn't even bother with wax in our bathroom. But in the guest bath, I did 1 cube of Just Breathe. This one is usually in the catalog year round, and it isn't in there this season. So we don't know. But this one is like lemon, eucalyptus, and mint. It's very pleasant. It's not usually like a favorite bar of mine, but I do keep it on hand, and it was very nice for when we're not feeling well. My husband really liked this one as well. And yeah, very nice. And it's not like a crazy long performer. It's like a day and a half. But it does a very nice job, and it's about a medium strength while it's going. So that was very nice. And as for bathrooms, that's all I did this week. Like that was the only thing that went into a bathroom. Then my daughter's room, and again, she had a really bad cough, so like I didn't want to overwhelm her with wax. So for most of the week, there was nothing in her room going. I did at one point, once she was feeling better, put in a couple cubes of Candy Crave. This one is very light, and I wanted that for her for this week, just because I didn't want to make that cough worse. So this one's just nice. It's like a very soft, like kind of cool cotton candy. Very soft cotton candy. It's like lightly sweet, just a little tiny bit clean, like almost like a tiny hint of like body care or some kind of musk. It's very soft. And again, it was exactly what I was hoping for her room. It's very light. I would say like a 2 or 3 out of 10 at peak in strength. So it's not a strong bar, but that is exactly what I wanted for that particular time. So that one did well, and it does last a while. It's one of those ones where you put it in, it never gets very strong, like 3 or 4 max, but usually closer to a 3. But it goes for like 3-4 days. So that's what we did with that one. Did very well. Next, I pulled out, this is just yesterday, now that she's better. This is Spun Sugar and Vanilla from the Mix It collection. This bar was actually available in the bakery bundle that was available on Cyber Monday. So if you grab that bakery bundle, you'll probably be getting a bar of Spun Sugar and Vanilla. I don't know if it'll have the same packaging as this one. This is an old bar, but yeah. This one, to my nose, is just about indistinguishable from the Dark and Devious bar from the Villains collection. It is like sweet and vanilla with a lot of like star anise and like kind of like those deep kind of warm spices. It's not spicy, but it does have a lot of like anise specifically. I really like it. And in her room, this is very nice too. And it was reasonably strong that first day. Now it is on the second day, and it is like died down quite a bit. And what is left is less spun sugar and more of those like spicy notes, like the star anise is very apparent. So I think you have to like Dark and Devious or star anise to like this one. It's okay. It's not one I would go out of my way to get more of, but I do enjoy it. And she hasn't commented either way on that one, so she has no thoughts on that one. Then our bedroom. This one is from Ella After Wax Co. This one is 3 Wishes Tea, and this one is Rooibos tea, peach slices, and a hint of rhubarb. So this one is very pretty. So this one on cold is, you do get rhubarb. There's a little bit of something creamy there. I wouldn't guess peaches. There is something it's very soft. Like it is tea, Although it's not traditional tea. It's not black tea or white tea or green tea. It's rooibos tea, which is a very specific smell. It's like a red tea, and it's not my personal favorite kind of tea, to be honest. I don't really love rooibos all that much, but I do love tea scents, and I like rhubarb and peaches, so I figured I would try this. And yeah, it's nice on cold. On warm, it changed a lot. So what I did was I did 2 of these little shapes in our bedroom warmer. And it was like, maybe it was not strong. It was light, which again was what I wanted because we couldn't breathe that well. But what happened with this one on warm is you got a lot of the rooibos. And like I said, I don't love rooibos. If you like rooibos or red tea, you'll probably like this a lot more than I did. But for me, something funny happened here, and it was a combination of the rooibos and I think maybe some of the rhubarb, but it started to smell, to my nose at the time, a little bit like pea. Like, I wasn't a fan. I left it in because I was too sick to care, but it was not my favorite. I think this one went 3 days before I changed it out. And yeah, it could have gone longer, but I needed it gone. So there was that one. Yeah, overall, I wouldn't personally repurchase Three Wishes tea, but I will say, I think this one would be much better warmed in the spring and summer. I think those notes would smell more outdoorsy and authentic in the spring and summer when you have windows open and that kind of fresh breeze is coming in anyways. I think then it would read more like rhubarb, but nothing, when you look outside right now, it's white and snowy. And so rhubarb isn't really the forefront of your mind. So I think that if you warm this at a seasonally appropriate time, it would probably be more appealing. Next up, I did Mandalorian Air of Adventure. And again, this one's fresh and pleasant and sweet and usually on the light side. So that was perfect and exactly what I wanted at this time. Yeah, this one's so good. Oh my gosh. So this one I did 4 cubes. I always do 4 cubes of this one in the bedroom because it is on the light side. Usually I use 2 cubes in the bedroom, but for Mandalorian, I use 4. I probably should have just used 2 this time because of our breathing, because it was quite strong and it did make us cough a bit more. That being said, this was beautiful and it did last for like a good 3 days as well. This one always does very nicely. It's one of those ones that, well, I won't say always does nicely. In the fall and winter, when the windows are shut and the house is closed up, this one goes for days. When I do this one in the spring, summer, it tends to be a 1-dayer for me. And I do find I have to use 4 cubes, but that's, you know, during the warmer months when the windows might be open and that sort of thing. But wintertime, this one does very well, and I really enjoyed that. This one is in my club. I'm gonna be keeping it there. I love that one. And the last thing I did in bedrooms was a mix, and I loved it. So I wanted to try mixing vanilla bean buttercream with perfect peppermint to see if I could duplicate candy cane buttercream and maybe get better performance. So this is a new bar of perfect peppermint, so it has not aged at all. This is a new bar of vanilla bean buttercream. It is not aged at all either. So I've mixed 1 cube to 1 cube in the same warmer in my bedroom. So just 1 cube of each in the same warmer. And this one smelled, I would say, exactly like candy cane buttercream. Like, this mix was indistinguishable to my nose to candy cane buttercream. It was very, very good. High scent appeal. It was delicious. It was just the right amount of like vanilla frosting to that peppermint candy cane note. So good. Strength was pretty decent for just 2 cubes of wax. It did scent the entire room. It lasted 2 days. It did very nicely. I would say medium strength. It didn't blow you out of the room or anything, but I think if I'd done 2 of each, it would have been quite strong. So I think it did better than candy cane buttercream did. So what I think I'm gonna do is not club candy cane buttercream and instead just keep these 2 on hand. So vanilla bean buttercream you can buy year round. So what I'll do at the end of the season is club perfect peppermint instead. And then this is a good bar for headaches or when you're not feeling well anyways. And then you also have it to mix and make candy canes. So that is my plan for candy cane buttercream, is I've just made a duplicate for it that I think performs better than candy cane buttercream does. So that is my plan. So I was very happy with that. That was very good. If you haven't mixed these 2 before, I would highly recommend it, and see what you think. In the office, I did no melting this week. I wasn't in there and it just never got changed. So it's still with whatever it was, whatever wax I had in there like a week and a half ago is still in there. Then on to the open layout. So I had done a bar of apple cherry strudel. There was a day where I was doing like a work conference from home, and I just wanted something very scented and pleasant, but I also wanted it to be gone by the time my family got home. Because I know my husband still has quite a cough. He didn't really probably want a whole lot of scent. So I decided, okay, something that'll be gone by the time that they get home. So apple cherry strudel is the one. This is the one that will just disappear without a trace within about 7 hours, 6 hours. So I put this in the morning, enjoyed it throughout the day. It was very nice. And then by, yes, early afternoon, it was gone. So that was good. And this one is one of those ones that I think it's a good Friday night bar, because if you put it in Friday night when you get home, it'll be gone by the time you go to bed. It's not one you want to put it on a Saturday morning because it'll be gone by early afternoon. So it's definitely one for a short warm, but it's very pleasant. Yes, it is like just a nicely balanced apple cherry sweet scent. Very, very nice, and not overly spicy, which was nice as well. So that was good. Then I felt like something, but I didn't want anything spicy, nothing pine tree-ish. Didn't want anything super strong or like too much. So all of the Christmas scents in my basket were kind of out of the race. So I pulled out a wild card. This is the Yellow Chase Rainbows bar. And this one I think is like lemon. There might be mango in here too. It had all kinds of like fruity things. This one's nice. This one is a very nice juicy lemon scent. I had smelled Squeeze the Day. It smelled too sharp to me and it caught in my throat. This one did not. So I went with Yellow from Chase Rainbows. This was a nice, bright, lemony scent. It kind of freshened the air, made the house feel kind of fresh and refreshed. And again, not a long time performer. This one was like less than a day. I would say 12 hours. I put it in the evening. By the next morning, it needed to be changed, but it was a nice evening scent. So that was a good one. Right now in my warmers, I have Be Merry, and I just did a full bar in the open layout here. This was actually too much for us yesterday. This one's a pretty good performing bar, and it's one of my absolute favorites for Christmas. Yeah, it's got like cassia or cassis. I can never remember which one's cinnamon and which one's currant. This one's the currant one though. It's got some like tree to it. It's got some like berry. It's got maybe a tiny bit of spice, but I'm not so sure about that. But something in here just kind of catches my throat right now. And it makes me cough. Makes all of us cough actually. So if you're sick, not a good one. But if you're not sick, this one is beautiful and just Christmas in a bar. So yeah, this one I had in 4 warmers. I had to take the dish out of 2 of the warmers because it was just too strong. And with just 2 warmers going with this, it was very nice. So the wax in those 2 warmers has kind of tapered down. So I'm going to put the dishes back into the warmers that I took out and enjoy the rest of the bar. So that's my plan with that one. And that is, I guess, a tip as well. If you're not feeling well, or if you have a cough or something, or even if you just have chronic breathing difficulties, try less wax, try fewer warmers. But yeah, if you're used to me like warming 4 warmers at a time with a full bar of wax, if you're not feeling well, just don't do that. Like just reduce the amount and see what you do. Cause yeah, that was the sweet spot for yesterday for us, is to just do 2 warmers for this. That was very nice. But yes, good performer. And this one gets quite strong if you do the full bar. I would say like medium plus, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 in my open layout. Very nice. Next one I did was one I'd been very much looking forward to. This is one that my friend Leslie sent me. This one is Peppermint Mocha from Canapa Candle. I actually ordered more of this bar and a candle in this scent as well. This one is so good. Like straight up Starbucks Peppermint Mocha, like exactly the Starbucks one. And Farah, the owner of Canapa Candle, even said that that is what she inspired it after. So it is inspired by that. So you get a little bit of mint, a little bit of that kind of like mocha syrup, and you get like steamed milk, you get espresso. It's just all the goodness of a peppermint mocha, and it was so good. So yeah, this one again, did this on the other day of the conference that I had to work from home for. So put this in the morning, loved, like just loved. So good. So this one was not as strong as the pumpkin spice latte one that I warmed from her, but it was very, very good. This one was maybe like a light medium or maybe a medium intensity at peak. And it went about a day and a half, like I'd say about 36 hours. Very pretty, very pleasant, and just very soft and kind of like inviting. It wasn't like a smack you in the face type of scent at all. It was very much just like a, like, come in, sit down, grab a blanket type scent. Loved, really liked that one. So thank you for that one. Next we did gingerbread donut. This was in an attempt. This was one that I'd been hanging on to, and this one's very juicy. This is one from Sarah in New Zealand, from when we had done a swap once. This one is good. So this one on cold is like gooey, almost cream cheese frosting, but just gooey gingerbread dough almost, with something like creamy as well, like the frosting maybe. It was so good. So this one, like I said, put the full bar in right out the gate, very strong. Within an hour, the house is just saturated with the scent. It's so good. Loved. As the day goes on, still very good. But it kind of changed. Like something in this changed the longer it was in the warmers. It's almost like a note in here got different after like heating for a long period of time. And it almost turned to like a dark maple. Similar to the maple note in French toast. And that to me was not my favorite. So this one was a good scent for a day. And then after there was a certain point where it kind of started to turn. And it started to turn more that way as well. So I left it in to see if it would pass, but it kept getting more intense that way. So I did take this one out after about 12 hours because it was kind of, because it had kind of turned to a point where I wasn't really enjoying it anymore. But yeah, this one was very delicious, and I do have another bar that I look forward to warming next year. So that one was delicious, very strong, and it probably would have been long lasting if I could have gotten past that maple note, but that was delicious. Next we have cinnamon pine cones. Oh my goodness, this is our scent of the month for December, and I have the scent of the month kit, and I threw this in the warmers, did a full bar. This was before I was sick, and so it was kind of like, you know, we were all fine still. Yeah, okay. This one on cold I quite like. Yeah, it's kind of like a warm kind of embery cinnamon smell. I like ember smells. I like cinnamon. And this one has a bit of a pine tree note to it, but it's a very soft kind of light green grassy pine tree scent, which I don't dislike. It's fine. So yeah, on cold I like it. So I was quite excited to actually put it in the warmers. So did a full bar. It scented the space very quickly and quite strong. I would say like 8 out of 10. But there's a note on warm that came out. So on cold, I would say this one smells like spiced ember glow minus the apple and put in more tree instead. And I think I prefer spiced ember glow because I like apple better than trees. The difference with this one is on warm, this one in particular got like a strange note to it. And I messaged a couple of Scentsy friends, and they also got the strange note and really did not like this bar on warm. One of them actually took it out of the warmers, and I came close, you guys. It was bad. So I'm gonna put a little slide thing here with the bad note in case you like this bar, because I don't want to wreck it for anyone who doesn't want this ruined. So if you love this bar and you don't want to hear what it smells like to me, just click ahead like 15 seconds and we'll go on our merry way. If you do want to know, just stay tuned. It's right here. So that is what I smell when it's warming, like intensely and very specifically. It's bizarre. So yeah, and again, I'm not the only person that gets that. Like, it's a problem. So I'm kind of sitting there like, Train, do you like, can you smell that? And he's like, I don't know, it's whatever. So they didn't hate it. I did not like it at all on warm. Then someone comes to the door, and I was actually embarrassed to have to open my door with my house smelling like this. So that alone should tell you probably not a winner in my house. But yeah, I have a few more bars of this now. If you have any mix ideas, I would love to hear them. I'm thinking maybe try to throw in some cranberry. I don't know. But yeah, I was mortified that I had to open my front door and the scent of this had to waft out at some poor unsuspecting soul. And now they think my house smells like that. That's embarrassing. But yeah, after about 5 hours, I was close to taking it out. So it was most intense. Like the strongest point was like the first 5 hours. So at that point, I'm like, well, it's too late to like put something else in. So I'll just like suffer through it, I guess. So I left it in. And now I expected this scent to last a good day or two because it's spicy and spice scents tend to drag on quite a while. And pine tree tends to go for quite a while as well. So between the woodsy notes and the embers and the spice, I thought this would be a quite long lasting one. But in the morning when I woke up, this was gone. So it did not last as long as I expected it to, which in my case, I was not sad about. But I think if I did like this scent, I would have expected better performance from it because of the notes. And I feel like they should have lasted longer, and maybe they will after it ages for a while. I don't know. But for me, I'm going to stick with Spiced Ember Glow because I don't get that note from that one. And I do like that very kind of toasted apple smell that Spiced Ember Glow has. So I think if you want a similar vibe, I would just go with Spiced Ember Glow, to be honest, and I would skip this one. Yeah. The other thing this reminded me a lot of, but I prefer the other scent, is Season of Magic. Once this one had been going for maybe 8 or 9 hours, the spice notes kind of started to really taper back to the pine notes. The pine notes kind of came to the forefront. The pine notes here are not deep or dark or earthy. They are bright and fresh and green. Very similar to the pine notes in Season of Magic, which is like the green Disney bar for Christmas time. So yeah, that's the pine note I get in here. And it does become much more apparent after quite a while, but still with that side note of the other thing. So I will not repurchase this. I do not recommend this bar unless you just absolutely feel like you need to try it. I feel like there are better bars like this. Spiced Ember Glow being one of them, Season of Magic being one of them. Cinnamon Bear, for Pete's sakes, would have the red hot cinnamon. Like, there's so many bars that I think you could do better with that you would probably enjoy more than this one. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a no from me. So that was a disappointment because I really had high hopes for this one based on the notes. And I really wanted something that would be kind of maybe like Homestead Holiday with the kind of spicy clove and cinnamon and like the tree notes and just kind of the embery smells. I do think this is a similar vibe to Homestead Holiday. I don't think it's similar to Homestead Holiday. Same vibe, different smell. And I much prefer Homestead Holiday. Why do I keep smelling it? Then I did North Pole from Harper James in the open layout. This was when we were not feeling well, and this was a perfect choice for that. This one is spearmint, peppermint, and vanilla. It is sweet, it's pleasant, it's not gonna make your cough worse if you're not feeling well. It's just enjoyable. It's just inoffensive, not in your face, and very pleasant. So did 8 cubes of this one, 2 cubes in each of the warmers. It was very good. It's definitely a one-dayer. It's not gonna last a whole long time, but it's very pleasant. And I think it went maybe 12 hours. It was lovely. Then I did Maraschino Sugar Cookie from my brick. This one is delicious. And again, I chose this because there's no spice here, nothing to irritate the throats. It's so good. Very strong, but so good. And the cookie notes here kind of cream it out a bit and they soften some of that like cherry note. But yeah, love this one. So I did 2 brick cubes and cut them in half and then did half a cube in each warmer was what I did. So there was that one. And this one again is a one-day type scent, but very, very good. And reasonably strong as well in my house at least. So that is what I have warmed over the last week and a half or so. Hopefully next time I come to you with what I've been warming, it is just full on spice and pine and cranberries and all the good strong Christmassy smells. But yeah, with a daughter in kindergarten and a husband who teaches in an elementary school, they bring home everything. And of course they have the immune systems to deal with it because they are there all the time every day. I'm not. I work in a very different environment with less people around, so I don't have the same immune tolerance that they seem to have. So I need to like, yeah, figure out my life. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear what you've been warming over the last couple weeks where you live and in your home. And we will talk to you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.